Okay, so let's jump right in. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe telling yourself something that isn't quite true yet could actually be like a really powerful way to unlock your potential?
It sounds completely backwards, doesn't it?
Totally backwards, yeah. But we took a deep dive into some really fascinating source material exploring this exact idea. And it actually starts with this pretty surprising story about a school assignment.
Yeah, involving, well, lying, essentially, or what looked like lying.
Right.
What this source material really unpacks, especially starting with that school thing, is how framing something that seems, counterintuitive, this idea of lying about where you are right now, can actually be a powerful tool for growth, for self-improvement.
Okay.
It kicked off with this simple task for some 12-year-olds. Write a lie poem.
A lie poem.
Yeah, about how unbelievably great they were, totally detached from their current skills or what they'd actually achieved.
Wow, so you can picture these kids just making up wild stuff about themselves.
Exactly. But the key insight the author pulled from this wasn't just, about creative writing.
Right.
It was about the actual act of articulating a vision. Maybe without even realizing it, they were painting this vivid picture of who they could be.
Or who they wanted to be deep down.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the sources suggest this taps into something, much deeper.
Okay, so what's that deeper thing?
Well, a key idea across the different sources is that a lot of us, maybe most of us, we struggle to really see our own potential clearly.
Yeah, we get stuck in the now.
Exactly. We get caught up in our present limitations. So this lie poem, or what the sources sometimes call a true lie or maybe positive fantasy, it acts like a workaround.
A workaround? How so?
It kind of gives you permission to just bypass your current reality for a moment and paint this detailed picture of the future you want, the self you want to be, the outcome you desire. And the material suggests that your subconscious mind, it doesn't necessarily draw a sharp line between a current fact and a really strongly held, vividly imagined picture. It just processes the input,
So instead of just vaguely thinking, I want to be successful, you're creating this detailed story, like a movie in your head.
Yes, exactly. A rich image of what that looks and feels like, even if it seems totally fictional right now.
And the sources say that by consistently feeding your mind these detailed pictures, these true lies, something important starts happening.
Yeah, you start creating what the sources call the necessary blueprint.
The blueprint. Okay, I like that.
Think of it like giving your internal GPS a destination, a clear one.
Right, if you don't know where you're going.
Your actions are just kind of scattered, directionless. But this mental blueprint, the one you build from your true lie, it subtly starts to influence things.
It's like what?
Your attitude, where you put your focus, even the opportunities you suddenly start noticing, things you might have missed before.
Okay, so it's like the cognitive side of fake it till you make it.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. You start embodying the mindset, the vision of that future self internally first.
That's fascinating. And the sources mention the irony, right? That a school might have to call this powerful vision exercise a lie.
Yeah, it maybe highlights how sometimes traditional ways of thinking might miss how motivation actually works,
Yeah.
But the core principle seems really potent. Clearly envision that future state, articulate that true lie, and you kickstart the process of actually making it your reality.
The material even had examples, right? Like athletes.
Yeah, exactly. An athlete visualizing the perfect race, the perfect shot over and over. It primes the brain, helps align actions with that desired outcome.
So this whole concept, it really makes you think.
Definitely. I think the main takeaway from this deep dive is that, actively picturing your potential, even if it feels totally fantastical right now, like an untruth, it might actually be a surprisingly effective way to build that path forward, to grow into that vision.